Hey everybody, I'm Jason Creel and this is The Lawn Care Life. Hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. I'm filming this today on what's considered to be Cyber Monday. I want to quickly say if you are planning to come to the 2020 Lawn Care Life conference presented by Jobber, which is January 23rd and 24th, you can use the code THANKFUL by the end of today and you will get 20% off. So if you know you're coming, go to lawncarelife.com, click on the conference link and you can register, and using the code THANKFUL save you 20%. And if you register more than one person, two or more, then you get an additional 15% off of that. So, but today I want to talk about my lawn update. I've had some people ask me about how the project's going. If you've been following me, about a year ago we bought this house. We started renovating it back in the summer and trying to get the Bermuda to grow in. I overseed with ryegrass this winter and got some other things going on. So I want to give an update on how the property's looking, give you a sort of a tour around, show you some of the improvements we made over the past few months. So let's get started with that. Okay, so we put out the Bermuda grass. We plugged this yard with Bermuda after having it scraped with a skid steer back in August. And super dry, hot weather, and had a hard time keeping it water. But you know, it actually did decent, and obviously didn't get full coverage with the Bermuda. But you can see here, this is the dormant Bermuda grass, or at least mostly dormant. We've had plenty of freezing weather. So I would describe it as maybe 60 to 70% coverage here in the front yard. You can see, again, these lighter colored patches is the dormant Bermuda. And it spread, you know, it did pretty good once I got it off of life support with the hot, dry weather. Even here you can see where it's spreading and kind of covering these areas. Now it's not covering well, but what I'm excited about is, you know, next year it's going to have a big head start. If I would have waited till next year, and that's why I went ahead and did it, even though it wasn't ideal timing and didn't go, you know, exactly according to plan. But it got enough of it going to where next year it can really start to fill in, and I think I'd get pretty much full coverage next year. Again, you can see where it's, you know, put runners out, and that'll give it a lot of stuff to, you know, to have a head start heading into next year. In the meantime, what I did was overseeded with ryegrass, and as you can see, this is not the best overseeding job ever for a couple of reasons. One, I just put it out at a very thin rate. I had a lot of area to cover. You can see here, got pitiful coverage, just to be honest with you. There is some ryegrass in there, but it's so thin. So I put it out at a thin rate. And then two, this yard washes really bad. Like, it is relatively flat, but for some reason, when it rains, a big river pretty much flows through the yard. So it holds a lot of water, kind of sit down a little bit off the road. So, you know, with the washing, it became even more uneven after it germinated. So, you know, if you look at it from a distance, it looks okay. But it obviously is not a great job of overseeing the yard, but just wanted something to kind of hold the dirt in place, because it was just, you know, a lot of dirt and not a whole lot of grass. And you know, I thought, well, it'd be better if I can at least get something growing. So did that. I don't like all the visibility from the road, so planted got a maple tree here that hopefully will get huge one day. And then over here we did a magnolia tree, southern magnolia. This is one that I think they get about 50 or 60 feet tall and huge. So one day, hopefully, to sort of block my house from so much visibility from the road. Now you can see over here, overseeded, and like I said, look at it from a distance. That doesn't actually look too bad. Again, it's not a great job, but it looks pretty, you know, looks better than bare dirt, if that's a compliment. Again, this video is for those of you that sort of follow along and been watching the progress. The landscaping I did, I've got a video out there where I landscaped the front yard, and I made some changes. Some of you gave me some feedback when I got knockout roses for like $3 a piece. I ended up putting about, I don't know, 12 or 15 of them here. And people told me that was too many, they're gonna get too big. I think they were right. So I pulled them all up except for 4 and moved them. So I left 4 knockout roses, moved some stuff around, you know, the grassy plants here, did okay. And I got some encore azaleas back here. They're a little bit hard to see because I need some fresh mulch and that sort of thing. I put a little miniature butterfly bush here. Again, if you're not from this area, you may not be familiar with all these plants. And over here I had some little azaleas, kind of some pitiful ones, and I swapped them out, put some loropetalums, put some weed control fabric. I've got tea olive on either corner that'll get big one day. So again, when I get some fresh mulch on that, it's all a work in progress, you know. This stuff just takes time. We had a well here that we've been trying to get up and going. It is working, and so we built a well house. Had a friend help me with that, and that turned out pretty decent. It's basically a 8x8 box with a door on it. So, you know, there's my well. Hopefully get a lot more use out of it coming up. Other thing I've been wanting to do for a while, I got done recently, was getting some blueberries. So I just wanted to, kind of a hobby, wanted to grow some blueberries. So I've got 3 rows of blueberries, 3 or 4 different kinds, varieties of blueberries, but 3 rows of 7. So I got 21 blueberry plants. And here I've got this wire running across here with these posts. I've got 2 different muscadine plants that I've planted. One's self-fertile and the other's not, and that's what I was told. You have to have at least one that's self-fertile, I believe. So hopefully get that vine to grow up. I got to put something for it to run up to get up to the vine, and then it'll run on the vine. Got one of my 3 fig trees here. Again, all the leaves falling off. It's winter time, so that's why they look like they do. I've got 4 blueberry plants, and I got a Fuyu persimmon tree that I planted. So I still want to get a few more things and hopefully use this area as kind of a seasonal garden where we'll grow tomatoes and things like that. So I think that's going to look good. I'm going to probably put some weed control fabric around the blueberries and put pine straw around it and try to keep the weeds off of it that way. And then the other thing, you can see the big piles of sticks over there, limbs that's been there for months, where we had a lot of the property cleared. I own the property on the back side of those limbs, and we had our property resurveyed recently. So I'm actually going to put that for sale. The area that you can see with the pine trees in the distance, we're going to try to sell that soon to get some money to hopefully end up adding on to our house. So that's the plan. So I hired a tree service recently that is began working on hauling off all these limbs. I desperately wanted to burn it to save money, but one, I don't know that it's legal from where I'm at. 2, it would need to be a controlled burn, with just being that close to all those pine trees, and if things go wrong, it could be potentially bad. So anyway, I've got a tree service that's hauling off the limbs. I'll show you some more here in a minute. Another thing we're doing is just trying to plant more trees. I've got a lot of land here. This is a, let's see, what is it called? Saucer magnolia tree. If you're familiar with those, they bloom with big pink flowers, usually early around here, like February. This is a Thuja green giant arborvitae. They get about 40 or 50 feet tall. Hopefully it's gonna grow, and it's evergreen and give me, again, some more privacy, and just trying to not have so much visibility back here. And then as you walk back here to the other part of the property that we've had cleared, like the tree service, hopefully this week, is hauling off the rest of these piles of limbs that's been sitting here since, I would say, August or so, maybe before that, actually probably July. So again, I would love to burn these, but I'm not sure that's a good option at this point, even though it would have saved me a lot of money. But if these will get gone, hopefully this week, over started last week, hopefully you can get it done this week, and that would be great. And then get all this cleared and leveled. And there is some Bermuda grass back here. It didn't do as well as it in the front yard because I wasn't able to keep it watered as much. But hopefully next year, just want to make this all look like a lawn. And then one of the projects I'm hoping to get done maybe February. I don't know, just depends on some circumstances, but want to get a big workshop back here to keep some stuff in. So that's sort of part of the long-term vision, getting all this gone so that I can build a workshop. It'd probably be basically a glorified pole barn, you know, closed in on all sides with 2 roll-up doors that I can keep stuff in. So, and then the other thing we did that I was excited about is I've got those Thuja green giant arborvitaes. They're similar to a Leland cypress, but what I've heard a little bit better for disease resistance. So we get a lot of noise because the interstate is on the other side of these trees, and you can probably hear the noise in the background, but you can see these are 1 gallon Thuja green giants, and I've got about 30 of them planted every 10 foot all the way down the property line. So I think, you know, it may take 5 years or so for them to get a decent size. They do grow fast, and I believe in fertilizer, so I can put fertilizer on them. But you can see, oh, this one's done got run over somehow or another. I think the tree guy didn't do him any favors. Anyway, must have ran that one over. But anyway, every 10 foot all the way down, and I can picture those years down the road being tall and giving me not only vision privacy, but also helping with the noise a little bit. And here's more sticks that hopefully will be gone by the end of the week. So this update for those that are interested in how the property's coming along. It's making progress. You know, it takes time. We just started with a big jungle back here and getting it cleared off, getting it hauled off, and building a shop, and hopefully, you know, in a year or two adding on to our house and trying to fulfill the vision that we had for this place when we purchased it. So it's moving along, not as always as fast as we hoped for, but it is getting there. So hear your thoughts in the comments. Appreciate you watching the video. Again, if you're coming to the conference, go to lawncarelife.com, click on the conference link, and use the code THANKFUL today to save 20%. In future reference, you can use the code YouTube, which will save you 10%. Talk to you later. Thanks. Bye. Oh, and I forgot to mention one of my favorite features. Here's our creek with some water in it, and I've got this metal bird I've had for years. I love this thing, and the beak broke off by a friend of mine who's a welder. It's got a fish in his mouth, so I stuck my metal bird here in the rocks, in the riprap, overlooking the pond, in case he wants to catch another fish.